Hi, I'm Katie, your safety trainer, and in today's video, we will be talking about demolition and silica. Let's talk about something you might not see but need to be aware of when working on a demolition site. Respirable crystalline silica, or just silica for short. This stuff is everywhere in the soil and sand, even in granite and most rocks. But the big culprits for us are concrete and brick. Silica might seem harmless, but trust me, when it turns into dust, it's anything but. Stick with me to learn some key safe work practices to keep you and your team safe. So why should you care about silica? Well, this isn't just about getting a bit of dust in your nose. This stuff can seriously mess with your health. We're talking risks like silicosis, lung cancer, and even chronic respiratory issues like bronchitis and COPD. And that's not all. Exposure to silica dust can also put you at risk for things like tuberculosis, scleroderma, and even kidney diseases. Enjoying this safety video? There's more where that came from on Got Safety Lite. Sign up for free and gain access to our library of over 1,800 safety videos. If we don't have the lesson you're looking for, we'll make it at no cost. Click the link to sign up today. All right, let's talk gear. Now, I know it might feel like overkill sometimes, but trust me, when it comes to silica, you can't be too careful. So what do you need to wear? For starters, if your boss says you need a reflective vest or jacket, you wear it, period. Gloves are a must, and as for your eyes, think safety glasses, goggles, or even face shields. Now on to respirators. This isn't optional. If you're going to be anywhere near silica dust, make sure that face is covered. And don't forget about ears. If the noise levels are high, you've got to protect those eardrums with some hearing protection. Last but not least, the hard hat. If your employer says it's a hard hat kind of day, well, you better listen up. All right, so we know that silica is not our friend. Far from it. But let's go over some tried and true ways to protect ourselves from the risks. First things first, if you've got to change clothes before or after your shift, make sure you're doing it in the designated areas. Why? Because you don't want to carry that silica dust back home with you. Speaking of dust, let's talk about your respirator. You should be treating it like your new best friend. Give it a once over every time you put it on. If it's damaged or the filters look like they've seen better days, tell your supervisor. You do not, I repeat, do not want to use a busted up respirator. That's just asking for trouble. Now let's talk machinery. If you spot something that looks off, like missing parts or obvious damage, don't be a hero. Report it and always follow the manufacturer's instructions. A damaged machine is not your ally when you're trying to avoid silica exposure. Sweeping is a no-go unless you're using a wet method or a sweeping compound. Remember, we're trying to keep that dust on the ground, not in your lungs. Speaking of which, a HEPA vacuum can be your dust-busting sidekick. Just make sure to check its filter and replace it if it's dirty. Also, saw blades. If they're dull, they're not just ineffective, they're dangerous. A dull blade can create more dust, and more dust means more silica in the air. Water feed systems on some saws help to minimize the dust, so make sure they're not blocked, all right? And here's a pro tip. When you're done with the tool, make sure it's completely off before setting it down. Safety first, always. Last but definitely not least, let's talk personal hygiene. You want to keep that dust away from your mouth and face. So no eating, drinking, or even applying lip balm in areas where dust is being produced. And before you grab that snack or light up that cigarette, wash those hands and face. So there you have it, a bunch of smart ways to keep you safe around silica. Let's wrap things up. Silica dust, it's no joke. The best way to dodge those nasty health issues tied to silica is by keeping that dust under control. Remember, everything you learned today isn't just guidelines, it's your frontline defense against silica-related dangers. Stick to those safe work practices and you'll be doing yourself a massive favor. Stay safe and keep the dust down. That's all for today's lesson. If you like this video, look for us on social media, and remember, stay safe out there.